flexing, no. I just want something you me, oh. You both what's my best life, yeah.
There we are. I think we're live now on all destinations, so thanks for hanging in there. We'll turn the music down a little bit, but we are live tonight. It's day 20. We're going live for 100 days straight, and let me turn the music down a little bit. Hopefully you enjoy the music. But yeah, we're going live on Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, with StreamYard, and then we're using StreamYard to use a custom connection to Switchboard, which we've talked about for several nights. And using Switchboard, we're going live on YouTube and Twitch. So hopefully you don't mind coming along for the ride and experiencing some of the trials and errors potentially. We did have a problem there when we first tried to kick off the YouTube and Twitch, and we're having some problems with our internet tonight. So we're going to try to be quick about sharing the content that we wanted to share tonight before hopefully we have another issue. So what I thought I would do first is do what I've done every night and just encourage you to get active on YouTube. If you don't have a channel, create one. If you do have one, you've not been doing much with it, spend some time, try to be consistent. That's number one. Number two is I highly recommend that you build, manage, and use an email list. Don't want to be dependent on social media only to be able to get your message out. So I recommend ConvertKit. So if you go to the description in this video, you'll see the link, but it's strammel.info/ConvertKit. You can get a free account to manage up to 1,000 subscribers. So what I'm going to do now is switch to a different screen, and I kind of want to show you what this looks like. So we're going to go there. Now you should be able to still see me picture in picture down in the bottom. And what you see here is the Switchboard dashboard, if you will. And in my preview that you see up in the top left, it is not the clearest in the world. Hopefully that's not affecting what you're seeing too much when I go back to myself. But anyway, I wanted you to see, as you can see here, I've got two destinations: YouTube channel, Twitch, going live through Switchboard, and as I said, the other destinations on Facebook and Twitter/Periscope going through StreamYard. And we are testing it out. So we're going to go back to camera one, which is me. And what I thought I would do tonight is go over some best practices for live streaming. This is by no means a exhaustive list, or it's not necessarily in order either, but I've written these down, so I will look over at my notes a little bit, but just wanted to share some of those. So if you're live streaming and would like to think through some best practices, and I don't always get to follow these even myself, and you may not either, but they are nonetheless things that will make your live stream come off better, and they'll always be better for it. But the first one is, again, these are in no particular order, but before you go live, especially if you're using something like StreamYard, using your laptop or whatever type of PC that you've got. If you're using a phone, it's different, but if you've got a computer and you're going live with a computer, reboot your computer or even completely shut it down, start it back up before you go live. clear everything out. This is really not that big a deal, especially if you have a solid state drive in your computer, because your computer will boot up fairly fast. Now, if you have a older laptop with a traditional mechanical hard drive, it may take a little bit longer to boot up, but it would still be a good practice to follow. So that's number one. Number two, after you've rebooted your computer, or for whatever reason, if you can't reboot your computer, make sure that you get out of all applications except for the ones that you actually need to go live. Chrome especially is bad about having a ton of processes in the background. So I would close down all your Chrome windows and then go into the task manager. Make sure all the Chrome processes are killed off. And then if you're using something like StreamYard like I am, then you will, you'll need at least one Chrome tab if you're using Chrome. If you're using Edge, if you're using Brave, really regardless of whatever type of browser you're using, make sure that you don't have a bunch of extra browser processes running. So that's number two. Number three, have as little as needed installed on your laptop that you're going to go live with. This is related. Number four, I'll talk about them really almost together, is even better, have a computer that's dedicated to live streaming. I don't even have that. I wish I did. If I had a computer that was dedicated to live streaming, then I would only have the bare minimum on there, and that wouldn't require much if you're using something like StreamYard, since it's web-based. Number five is very similar or related to three and four. Number five would be to have a second laptop. Even if you have a dedicated laptop to do your live stream, have a second laptop. Maybe that one has all your other applications that you use installed on it. And if you have that in combination with the HDMI switcher, like an ATEM Mini, I use the ATEM Mini Pro, then you can do, for example, things like what I'm doing. I'm playing my music, background music, from my second computer coming in to my HDMI switcher in port 3. Number 6, again, somewhat related to the last two, is it would be very helpful if you had a second screen. That way, if you're going to be sharing tabs or managing applications, that type of thing, you can do that on a second monitor and not impact what you're showing live. Or if you do need to share a screen, you can share the screen from your second screen. Number 7, make sure that you address your replay audience. And so I'm going to do that right now. So if you're watching this, not live, but the replay, welcome. I'm glad that you were able to find this and catch it, even though not catch it live. You were able to watch it on the replay. We still would love to have you interact. We will, always go back and answer all the comments, address any questions, whether it's during the live or during the replay. So we do appreciate all of our live viewers and those that watch us later in the night or the next day, whenever it's convenient. So that's number 7. Make sure that you interact with the audience. And so again, by way of example, I'll do that as well. I do have a comment here. Someone said hi and hello. You're probably commenting from a Facebook group, and when comments come in through the group, you have to actually tell Facebook that you can be identified. So unfortunately right now, all I see is that it's a Facebook user. So whoever said hello, I want to say hi back. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad to have you here. So interact with your audience. It can get difficult. I completely concur and can relate, especially if you're going live on multiple channels, which we normally are. So I'll apologize in advance that I don't even do that with 100% success, but we do appreciate all of our all those that are in our community, regardless of what channel, what platform you're on. And I will say, related to that, before I get to the next item in the list, is we are asking people to come to YouTube. We will continue to go live on all of the different platforms that we're present on, but we would love to have you come over to YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Shane Trammell. That's ShaneTrammel. That link is in the description as well. And subscribe there, turn on notifications, because if we ever only go live on one channel, it's likely to be YouTube or one destination, because that's one of the areas that we're trying to build. That's why we open up every live stream that we do with saying create a YouTube channel, or if you have one, spend some time on it, regardless of what you do, regardless of what kind of job you have, even if you're retired. Without going into deep detail in this live stream, I encourage you with every ounce of encouragement to create a YouTube channel. So that is that. Number 9, if you have guests, so if you're using something like StreamYard, or even if it's Zoom or something along those lines, I highly recommend, I think it's essential that you do a dry run with your with those that are going to be joining you as guests. Make sure that their audio is good, make sure the video is good, just make sure that they are able to connect, all of those things. It would actually be good to do 2 of them, do a dry run the day before, and then do a dry run maybe an hour before. Now, I realize we all live busy lives, have really tight schedules sometimes, and you may just have to go for it and hope that there are no issues, and many times there won't be, but don't be surprised if you do have issues. Just like we're having issues tonight, my internet is in and out. I've spent quite a bit of effort trying to get it as good as possible, and that actually leads me to a number 10. I wanted to have 10. I only had 9 written down, but number 10 is, if you can, have a hardwired connection to the computer that you're using to go live on. Again, I'm assuming you're using a computer. If you're using a phone, that's a very viable option. But a lot of the things that I like to do, a lot of the features that I like to bring into my live stream really are not well suited to do that through a phone, but phones are very capable these days of doing it. So, but if you are going to use a laptop, personal computer of some sort, Mac, Windows-based PC, get a hard connection, an Ethernet wire coming to your laptop. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you may need to do that. Most modern laptops don't have an Ethernet port built into them anymore, so you have to get a hub that has a Ethernet port on it. That's what I'm using. So those are the 10. I think that those cover a lot of your bases. There are more to talk about, but the one other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight very briefly, and it would be a summary of things that we've talked about actually since day 16, and that's this link that you see here on the bottom of the screen. If you go to strammel.info/appsumo and then search for Switchboard, AppSumo is offering an amazing deal right now where you can get Switchboard for life for as low as $49 if you use my code, but you get $10 off of whichever plan that you go for. If you go for the 5 code stacked plan, then you can, and I'm going from memory on this, but you can have 15 different users using the system, which is amazing. You can go live on up to 60 destinations. You can have, I think, 10 different simultaneous live streams going on. So that means you could have 10 different people within your organization, on your team, whatever it be, friends, going live, a different live, each one of them going at least 6 destinations each. 6 times 10, 60. I just joined right before you went live. I went for the 5 code. Hey, Michelle, good deal. So, I talked to Michelle earlier today, and we talked a little bit about Switchboard. And again, I wanted to use it for the first time tonight, and I'll know after the live stream is over how it turned out on YouTube and Twitch. Had a false start tonight that had nothing to do with Switchboard. I actually forgot in StreamYard to set up the RTMP connection, and on Switchboard it wasn't going live, but no fault of its own, user error. But I'm liking what I see. I'm super excited. For me, a use case is, imagine that I'm helping 5 different musicians go live, 5 different venues. Now, it would take more than just me to make this happen, but I have now with Switchboard the ability to have 5 different people that I know, trust, and know the technology that could start a live stream, go live on multiple destinations. And then the cool part is with 5 codes, 2 things if you go 5 codes deep that are amazing. One really, that's only with the 5 codes. You can get an HTML embed code, or it's just a little bit of code, HTML code that you would cut and paste onto a page on your website, and then when you go live, you can stream to your web page. Now, this has a lot of benefits. I'm not going to tonight go into the details, but let me just say, one is you don't have to worry about copyright issues. I mean, you can literally on Facebook, and this is one of the things that I talked to Michelle today about, you could literally have just music going on in the background, not even paying attention or just not even giving it a second thought. And if it's commercial music, Facebook could either immediately or days later, YouTube the same, could basically give you a copyright infringement. And a lot of times what Facebook or YouTube will do is they won't strike you, they won't give you a strike, but either that part of the video will be without sound, or that's mostly what happens. And so that could be pretty bad. I'm playing music in the background, but I'm using Soundstripe. So if you want to look at that, strammel.info/Soundstripe, it's a royalty-free music platform that I use, where I can use that music royalty-free, don't have to worry about copyright infringements. And so I kind of like having background music playing in the background. So that's me. But yeah, hey, Michelle, I'm excited to hear that you saw the value in that tool as well, Switchboard. So would love to hear if anybody else is going to try it out. You do, by the way, have a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can back out. I don't see that happening with me. I'm super excited about the things that I can do with it, the creative approaches I can take. Oh, the one other thing I was going to say about it, 2 more things, if you don't mind. One of the other things that's really cool about it is you can have what's called stream share. So imagine on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, all of those, you could send an email or have a web page that you can build through Switchboard send them the link. They can sign up to allow you to go live on their destination. So their page, their page, Facebook profile, a Facebook group, their Twitch account, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all of those. That's incredible. I used the example already, but some of the folks that I'm connected with, some of my community involved in Young Living, I'm involved in Young Living. So imagine that you've got, let's say, 5 team members, and they each have, I don't know, let's just say 200 people connected to their page or their group. You could get those 5 team members to authorize you to go live on their page, and then you can do the rest of the thinking there with regards to how you can multiply and get your live stream out to a bigger audience, similar to a watch party. But with a watch party, and I've heard some people say they don't see the watch party option anymore, but even if it was still available, or even if it is still available, you have to wait on the actual person that has that page or whatever to do a watch party. This way, it all just happens seamlessly. So anyway, that was the long and short of what the link is down there. Go check that out. We're going to close out day 20 of 100 days of live streaming. One other thing I will mention, I've mentioned this in one of the other live streams, and we have, I don't have it with me. We have been promoting Paradise Bistro and Coffee Shop, which is a local restaurant here in Granbury, close to where I live, Granbury, Texas. Very popular destination, especially on weekends. Look up Granbury, Texas. If you're anywhere within 200 miles or even more, need to get that on your schedule sometime to come check it out. A really cool town. There's it's one of the places where you can come still, even with COVID going on, and have a little bit more freedom. So I think we're experiencing even more people coming maybe than normal, because the restrictions are a little bit tighter in some of the bigger cities. But if you have a company or anything that you would like promoted, shoot me a direct message. Let's talk about it some. I would love to promote what you got going on. I've actually got a watch company. We're going to be highlighting some watches here before long. I think they're really cool. Be wearing one. So happy to do that for you folks that are connected with me here. So we're going to call it done. And I just hope everyone has a great evening if you're watching this live. If you are watching this on the replay, whether it's morning, noon, mid-afternoon, the evening, hope you're having a good one and have a good rest of your week. All right, I think that's it for us tonight. Talk to you tomorrow, day 21. All right, bye.